Welcome to Revisited here on France 24. The body of a 13-year-old boy is carried through the streets of Soweto. The image which shocked South Africa and the world. The only mistake of young Hector Peterson was to have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. It was Wednesday, June the 16th, 1976 at 8 a.m. A crowd was gathering for a student demonstration, which was to turn to tragedy. They were amongst the thousands protesting in the Johannesburg suburb of Soweto against a decision which required people to learn Afrikaans, the language of white people. As the demonstration went on, the police responded with a bloody repression, releasing dogs onto the crowd and then firing live ammunition. Officially, 23 people died. In reality, it was more like several hundred. It was the beginning of the end of apartheid. The anti-movement was born. Upon his release from prison, Nelson Mandela chose Soweto, where he'd lived, to deliver his historic speech. The fight not yet over.
In the name of the heroic struggle of our people to establish justice and freedom for all in our country. Africa! Haiboye! Amanda!
A year and a half later, apartheid was abolished, giving way to the Rainbow Nation, with Nelson Mandela at its head to guide its people. The fact that the country did not sink into violence in the 90s owes much to Mandela, and it all began in Soweto, where our correspondents Willie Bratiano and Catherine Norris-Trent found that nowadays the newly rich live right next to those still facing extreme poverty. Here's their report.
This may look like a music festival, but it's how the Soweto uprising is now remembered. Commemorating the 1976 massacre has become a mass party. The school uniform is to pay homage to the child protesters shot dead that day.
I want to thank all the youth for Soweto, especially Hector Peterson. We go wherever we want to go, we speak whatever language we want to speak. Now the racism is over.
The youth of Soweto have made us so proud. We're very, very proud of them that today we are who we are because of them. We can live free. We are born free. That's why they call the born free. That we're free now.
A whole generation in Soweto has now grown up after the end of apartheid. Victoria BOIKANYO has brought her young son to enjoy this festival of freedom.
This day, we mustn't forget about it. Every year we have to celebrate it. That's why I say we're celebrating it other way around. We're not crying anymore. Everybody's smiling.
27 years after the uprising and 2 decades since the end of white rule, Soweto has become a vibrant, buzzing and young city. A hotspot of modern South African culture, constantly expanding, now home to over 4 million people. But despite their freedom, for many Sowetans, daily life remains a grind. Victoria's family of 5 live here, in the Pimville neighbourhood, all crammed into a tiny apartheid-era house. Eldest son KAMOGELO has to sleep in a shed in the backyard while studying IT at university.
I moved out of the house since I was in grade 10. It was 2006. So.
The toilet and taps are outside. The family have bought the house but have no money for renovations. Victoria's a single mum who supports her 2 sons, nephew and elderly mother.
I do everything. The boys are helping during the week, but they don't do it properly. Over the weekend, I have to do it on myself. I like to extend that there must be another room, maybe in a bathroom here, and that space here. I want to build some back rooms and a garage.
Hers is an archetypal matchbox house, hastily built en masse for black workers in the 1970s.
When I see it, I still remember of apartheid era, because, you know, it's still on the same status. Nothing has changed. Then that thing is still working on my mind. That thing of apartheid is still there.
But in Soweto, when it comes to living standards, everything is relative. It seems there's always someone worse off. Victoria's son KAMOGELO takes us to see an old school friend who lives in one of the poorest areas. This is Kliptown, a squatter camp with no electricity and open sewers.
It's a bad area. You can see people, they live in shacks, you know. Yeah, so the government, they're not doing anything, but they've been ruling for such a long time, you know. Yeah.
At 19 years old, his friend CHICO has never known anything else than this slum of 40,000 people.
It's where I live, and it's where I born. I grew up here, this area, and it's good to live here, but it's not good because when the rain, it's rain, the water gets inside the houses, the rooms, then people are suffering. It's not good to live here, but we have no choice.
CHICO's parents moved into this shack in 1979. His father still works in the nearby gold mines, scraping a living for the family.
Life here isn't at all easy, especially in bad weather. The kids are always getting ill. The authorities have promised several times that we'll be moved somewhere better, but nothing's happened. We're still here.
Very little in his life has changed since the birth of the new South Africa. In Kliptown, progress is slow. It's the oldest slum in Soweto, notorious for poverty and crime. Last year, officially, there were 128 rapes reported and more than 500 muggings. Drug abuse is soaring. After nightfall, Kliptown is a danger zone.
The station is dangerous. There's some other guys, sometimes they catch some people in the station. If they get you alone here, or they just get you that side, they can rape you and take your things and then they run away.
Norman spends his nights patrolling near the railway tracks of Kliptown. He's part of a team of volunteers trying to crack down on crime. They help local people make the risky journey home after work.
I was running, like, to get some other people that are coming from the train to work with them.
What are the dangers? What are you afraid of?
Darkness, anything can happen. You can get raped, they can murder you, take my stuff from me, anything can happen.
The patrollers aren't armed. They can only provide strength in numbers, a presence on the streets. They're the eyes of the police in no-go areas.
All those people, they are doing crime. We live with them, we know them. We know where they stay, you see. Even if they can run away, we keep on looking for them.
The police, they come and they go. They come and then they go again.
In all, around 60 volunteers patrol Kliptown at night. Back on the other side of Soweto, Victoria is also returning home. In her neighbourhood, security is not so much of a problem, but her day has been tiring and long.
From work to home, it will take you 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours. Most of people in Soweto are working in the suburbs because here in Soweto there is no jobs.
Every day, hundreds of thousands of Sowetans travel to Johannesburg and back. This is still a dormitory town.
Bamam. No liang kuskolo. No shop. Okay.
Victoria's 67-year-old mother is also at home. She was a factory worker in the apartheid days.
You can't walk 9 o'clock in the street before. They arrest you. Now we walk free. Nobody's going to say where you come from, where's your pass, ID book, they don't ask.
But despite that repression, she's almost nostalgic.
It was better than now with the money, because I used to work for the factories almost 20 years in my life. Now there's no factory, there's no money.
Freedom, but financial struggle. After tax, Victoria earns only 6,800 rands a month, just over 500 euros.
Difficult because sometimes you buy, but they don't last for the whole month. Then you have to work overtime. Maybe you buy some meat, some veggies.
No.
And there are many mouths to feed. Victoria's nephew, KGOMOTSO, also lives with the family.
Now I'm unemployed. It's been like 4 or 5 months now since I've been unemployed. So now I'm at home, I'm doing nothing. A lot of my friends are unemployed.
Like how many?
Let me say 70% of my friends are unemployed.
But his cousin, KAMOGELO, is more optimistic about his prospects.
For the future, like, I would like to see, like, here in Soweto, opening an internet cafe. As long as you're willing to sacrifice hard working for now, and obviously your dreams will come true. If you determine and you want to tell yourself that I'm gonna do this, and you set your short-term goals, medium-term goals, long-term goals, yeah. Because life is all about that, yeah.
KAMOGELO is confident that in today's Soweto, drive and enthusiasm can get you ahead.
Yeah,
in fact, he's seen concrete examples of business successes springing up. He and his friends love to hang out at the massive new Maponya shopping mall, built by a millionaire Soweto businessman and a temple to the boys' aspirations.
Baba. Hey, Baba. I see Saturday, December today.
For some, at least, disposable income is on the rise. Soweto has its own supply of bling, not to be outdone by richer parts of the country.
I spend more money to my shoes and jeans, trousers mostly. Yeah, because at Pimville, mostly of the people, they want to look you down until up. Yeah?
Gradually shaking off its proletarian past, Soweto is embracing consumer culture.
It's like a growing economic. Like each and every year, they build something new. You know, since they build this mall, more like tourists they visit this mall. You know,
the beginnings of a renaissance. But how far can Soweto develop? It's already attracting outsiders through cultural tourism. Visitors curious to see the township where Nelson Mandela and his comrades once lived. Thousands have poured in since the World Cup in 2010. No need these days for government permits. Today, mingling with KAMOGELO and his friends, Americans are trying a typical snack, chicken feet.
We welcome them to feel at home, you know. They must just be free. South Africa is a free country, this thing. You want?
Soweto fried chicken foot.
Soweto has opened up. It's far from the ghetto of the apartheid era. But the road ahead to prosperity could be long. It remains cramped, crowded and mostly poor. Soweto's post-apartheid generation is living its own form of struggle.
Life there for the rich and for the poor in Soweto, South Africa. Well, that's it from this edition of Revisited here on France 24. Stay tuned, of course, for more editions. Thanks for watching.